Welcome to episode 9 of the Burning Bush podcast, where we share the message of the Bible while enjoying a good cigar. And hopefully, more often than not, a great cigar. So I hope everybody's doing well this week. Once again, I'm pairing my cigar with some green tea because it always seems like when I go to record, I have a dry throat. Hopefully it'll help. This week, I am smoking the Perdomo Double Aged 12-Year Vintage Maduro Epicure 6x56. And let me give you the notes for that from the Perdomo website, which will be linked in the show notes as per usual. So on the website, it says, the Perdomo Double Aged 12-Year Vintage Maduro is blended with a gorgeous bourbon barrel-aged Cuban seed Nicaraguan Maduro wrapper, combined with rare bourbon barrel-aged Cuban seed Nicaraguan binder and filler tobaccos, offering a smooth smoke with a natural sweet complexity and a rich, robust finish. And as I said in the description, the wrapper is a Nicaraguan Maduro. Binder is Cuban seed Nicaraguan, and the filler is the same. The strength is medium to full-bodied. The finish has hints of dark chocolate and coffee with a rich, robust taste. And they suggest that you pair it with scotch and bourbon. And it comes in a Robusto, which is a 5x56. The Epicure, which is what I'm smoking tonight, 6x56. Salomon, 6 1/8 by 54. The Gordo Extra, which is 6.5 by 60. And the Churchill, which is a 7x56. So there's the information on the Perdomo Double Aged 12-Year Vintage Maduro that I'm smoking tonight. And now, let's get into this week's reading of Mike Heiser's book, What Does God Want? The heading for this section is Rebellion Number 3. Like the stories of Adam and Eve and Noah's flood, you may have heard of the Tower of Babel. If not, that's okay, because even most churchgoers don't realize what really happened there. The story of the Tower of Babel is found in Genesis 11, 1 through 9. After the flood, God wanted Noah's descendants to multiply and spread out over the earth. Like Adam and Eve, they were to be God's co-workers to maintain creation. Instead of doing that, they gathered at a place called Babel and built a tower to their own glory. Genesis 11, 1 through 4. That's the familiar version of the story, but its real significance is found in two unfamiliar verses in another biblical book. Here they are. When the Most High gave to the nations their inheritance, when he divided mankind, he fixed the borders of the peoples according to the number of the sons of God. But the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob, his allotted heritage. Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. These two verses tell us that one of the judgments at the Tower of Babel was the division of humankind. Up until this point in the story, God was dealing with humanity as a collective whole. That changed at Babel. Human beings would be segregated by language and geography. Even worse, God divorced himself from humanity. Fed up with human defiance of his will, God assigned the nations of the earth to other members of his supernatural family, the sons of God. This was a different group than those who transgressed before the flood. God couldn't kick humanity out of his house. He had done that already back in Eden. He had promised not to destroy humanity after the flood, Genesis 9:11. So there would be no repeat of that disaster. So what else could he do? He essentially said, enough. If you don't want me to be your God, I'll assign you to some of my heavenly assistants. The fallout of this judgment took many forms. We aren't told how long it took, but the Bible tells us that the supernatural sons of God assigned over the nations did a lousy job. They became so corrupt, Psalm 82, 1 through 5, that God had to judge them too. He would one day take away their immortality and take back the nations. Psalm 82, 6 through 8. For our purposes here, God's frustration left him childless in terms of having a human family. He'd had it. He'd given up. Well, not quite. And that's the end of this week's section from What Does God Want by Dr. Mike Heiser. We'll come back next week and pick it up with a section entitled God's Persistent Love. So I hope everyone has a good week, and you'll come back next week and continue the story. Until then, have a great day, have a great cigar, and God bless.